What is up with the squad? It's your favorite auntie with Uncle Tendencies in the building with RobDaManMedia. Y'all know what it is. It's Hot Takes Wednesdays. Y'all know what it is. That means we talking all Gamecocks. What's up, Rob?
Man, what's happening? What's happening, man? I'm glad to be back with another show with you. Let's get it. Let's go.
Let's get it. Let's get it. Okay, so we 2 weeks. We got to make up for 2 weeks. We missed y'all last week. So we finna get this thing. We finna get this thing caught up. Tell me how you feeling about the Gamecocks? What you saw since we talked last?
Man, I'm actually feeling. I'm feeling better as each game go on. It's still a work in progress. It's a long season, but it's still a progress.
We got
is that me echoing? Hold on.
I think it's you. I turned down over here. Y'all still got echo.
Yep. Can you hear me? Any echo?
Nope.
Okay, cool.
I think they was hearing the show. I think they was hearing me.
Okay. All right. So, basically, out of the first 2 games, you starting to see the progress. All these last 2 games, I should say, you start to see the progress of where this team really trying to go. Defensively, we bought a little bit too much, but overall, man, I'm good where we at. I want to see us transition more. And shoot a couple more threes, but overall, man, I'm pretty good sitting there at South Carolina.
Oh, I'm excited about where we said that. I'm excited.
Ask me first game.
I think they hear the show. You got the show on?
No, I don't got nothing on. Hold on.
Y'all still hear echo? Y'all put a 5 in the chat if I'm still echoing while Rob is down.
All right, we good?
Let me see.
All right, let us know. Give us a thumbs up.
Yeah, let us know.
Give us a thumb in the chat, man. We good.
Me.
I don't hear no, so that's why I was,
Oh no, they said they got it. They say I'm echoing, but I don't.
Okay, they said we good. They said we good. So let's rock. That's right. We good.
Oh, okay. Let's go. All right. So, like I said, I feel good about where we at. We saw some challenges, right?
Yeah.
In the first game, I think people were like the Michigan game. They were like, oh, they was questioning whether or not we was gonna be ready. I felt like Michigan showed up. I feel like Silas Swords is gonna be a problem when we get to for the Big Ten. They gonna have to deal with her. I feel like they played us really tough. But Joyce Edwards made some freshman mistakes. She looked like a freshman. They picked on her. She didn't guard coming off that screen well. Silas got a lot of shots off. This is the type of player I feel like she can watch the tape and she'll be better the next week. I think we've seen her be kind of a freshman in ways that we didn't see her do that in the first 2 games, like the exhibition games, right? So she really balled out. She came in that first game, gave us a double-double, so we know who she can be. Now she's getting her footing. What I like about Joyce is I saw her get the rebound and just come straight down running the point. She had no problem with that. When she does make mistakes, if she does throw the ball away, if she does get the ball stolen from her. She's right back on defense trying to get the ball back, right? And so for me, it's like, okay, that's the energy that I need to see from the freshman. She don't get down on herself. She's got the right attitude to be successful. The other thing I'm excited about is Tahina Pau attacking the basket. Tahina Pau has nothing on her knee, and she's attacking the basket like crazy. That's something that's going to be a problem. It's something
she slimmed down this year. She slimmed down. She look slim out there. So yeah.
Hey, Tahina went and got her old chin line, Rob. She would have got her old chin line. Tahina ain't playing around with her. So, yeah, Tahina's exciting. And the other thing is that I saw Tahina become the leader from the on the court as far as like the let's calm down. Now, Raven is for sure space and pace floor general. But when we were in Michigan, we kind of got sped up a little bit. We kind of got ahead of ourselves. We weren't really running the offense either, but we got it in places where it looked like we were going one-on-one, getting away from what we do. And I saw Tahina talk about it and then come back in the next game and be that person to just like, hey, we got this. Let's settle down. She was hitting some threes to give us some space in places that we needed to be able to breathe in. And I know people got a lot of questions about us not having a big post presence. This is not what this team is about. We're gonna win different.
Honestly, though, I don't think that you guys really. I don't think South Carolina really truly needs a post player. The space for me is the key, right? Can you attack the rim? Can you what I want to see out of them is a little bit more pick and roll, a little bit more DHO action, dribble handoff action, and I think that's the piece that's missing to get to this team, go to the next level because y'all have the guards to get downhill and attack them, but also the problem right now is how can you get Joyce Edwards comfortable in the game, and that's the part still the maneuvering piece of man, this offense can look way different if we could find a way to how to use Joyce Edwards. And I think that's the key to unlock South Carolina to another level is that she's out there. The only reason why she's making mistakes is because she's thinking too much. She's just not playing basketball. And so at least the simple mistakes of turning over the ball, some of them turnovers is just her just not being a basketball player and her trying to think through, man, am I making a decision? Do I gotta kick this, or can I be a little bit selfish and just Euro step go lay the ball up? Some of them plays where she could have just Euro stepped and just laid the ball up, and it's just like, come on, dog.
Ooh. She came down the lane and hit him with a spin. She didn't make it, but it was like, oh, when that start falling, y'all in trouble. And that's the thing. I tell them all the time. She getting them shots. When they start falling, it's gonna be a problem. But it's like you said, she's overthinking. She's trying not to make a mistake. Dawn is like, you know what? It's baptism by fire. I'm leaving you out there. Deal with it.
But see, I don't think she understands Dawn yet to I'm going right with you. Just play basketball. But if you're not gonna play basketball, you gotta come out. And so when she started not to be a basketball player, you gotta stay to take her out. Because you're like, all right, listen, all right, come on now. I can watch you making mistakes at 100 miles per hour. What I can't do is you making mental mistakes because you don't trust yourself right now because of lack of confidence. And so as girl, she's gonna gain confidence. I just think in this offense, they're still trying to figure out otherwise who they want to be, how they want to play. Because y'all got two scores in Pow and Fuwali. Y'all got it's two dominant scores. What do you really need the other three players to do? Right? You just need Raven to split up.
Before we get away, I don't want to get away from Joyce. I got a question for you, especially.
It's been all tied into what I was going to say though. So I'm not getting away.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I don't want to get away from her.
No, what I'm saying is y'all got two dominant scores where you can utilize Joyce in a pick and roll situation and a pick and pop situation that's going to allow her to free her game up. That's going to build her confidence. And I don't utilize that a lot. That's the problem that I was going to go to in my point.
I want your insight on Joyce off the bench and starting, and the difference between that and where is there a better place to have her start to learn how to get comfortable from what you've seen, especially like with your development of players and your coach and the approach there. Yeah. How does that fit into getting her to that space? Because right now it's like Dawn is like you're out there, but is it start? Is it off the bench? And what does that look like?
So here's the problem with, like, if she does come off the bench, what unit is she coming off the bench with? Right?
Okay.
Are you playing through her? Or you got her out there and everybody else got to figure the things out? Right?
Okay.
The her being in the starting lineup is that you have dominant guards. They're just trying to figure out how to play with a dominant big man that's more athletic than what they used to playing with. Because you're so used to playing with, man, you run into that block and we finna throw that ball down there. You're not used to, like, hey, this girl can come set a screen and then roll super hard and the rim faster than what you're gonna see a Leah Boston do or you see a Cardoza do. And when you're talking about the changing the speed of how your big man rolls to the basket, your big man can actually pop and make shots,
Right.
and they can dribble the ball off the handle. With a handle, it's kind of different. They haven't had a big that. So now you're asking the South Carolina to figure something out with a more athletic big. They can do more things in the open court than what they had in the previous. So it's going to take some time for them to adjust. My biggest thing with them is when they're in transition, is trying to make Joyce the trailer instead of her being the first and down.
Okay. So would you start her or put her off the bench? I thought she played better off the bench. I like Chloe starting, but I like your question about who does she come with is like Lay. She would come with Lay and Ashlyn, right?
But of course, she's always starting because kids didn't. We know that. So you just got a glimpse. It looked right in her. It doesn't look right now with her in the starting lineup because she has no chemistry because she don't practice with them. This is like you can tell like who's in practice and who's on what team by the way they play when they're out there. She doesn't practice with them, so she's still learning to adapt to play with Pow, and she's learning how to play with two dominant guards. Not saying that she can't, but if it's me, I'm gonna probably bring her in. I'm gonna play her with Ashlyn a lot because I can go with a high low. They could similarly do both the same things. You got two athletic bigs and they can just fly in transition. And I would listen like, hey, listen, whoever get the rebound, we going. So I would probably bring her off because you get more versatile, and she's gonna play against people's second units. And when she's gonna play against people's second units, you don't have to worry about making this much. Because I know when I come in here, my job is to turn the heat on everybody. And so my mistakes ain't going to be as mounted as if I'm starting. Now the decision is going to come with her coming off the bench is how do you stagger her minutes to finish the game? That's where the true question is going to come in at. Because do you finish in the game? Or would you just let her come off the bench? Like for me, I would have her come off the bench, but I'm trying to stagger her minutes where it allows her to finish the last 4 minutes and 30 seconds of the game. Her and Ashlyn. And I will put Kiss on the floor with Chloe Kiss. I will put them three on the floor together. Because I think that's going to be your best lineup with your big three. With your big three far as bigs, I think that's going to be your best versatile lineup. And you put Pow and you put Fuwali in there, I think that's your best lineup. Tell me who's going to score.
But you know what else, though? I also just like Lay and Tessa and Joyce and Ashlyn and that. I like that as a seatbelt game coming off the bench. I don't know. I think it's gonna also depend on who we're playing, who's playing well, right? Who we playing and who's playing well. I like her off the bench. I know I was getting a lot of feedback from people that she should be starting. All of that. I don't know that she's ready to start. I like what you said about who's gonna finish. That's what it's gonna come down to. Now, Ashlyn. So if it's Ashlyn and Joyce on the floor. Does that mean that a kid? So that means it's faking and who's sitting down?
I mean, I got Fuwali and Pow on the floor. Three.
So you would sit Fagan and Raven. You would sit Fagan and Raven.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to sit.
It's hard for you to sit. It's hard for you to sit Raven. But what you got to think about it is can we get what Pow does, can we get that out of Raven, right? You can't. Right? Scoring wise, you can. Defensive wise, they similar, right?
Mm-hmm.
You look at Fuwali, she's a microwave, right? Raven give you that.
You better know it.
But what Raven brings to the table is she'll slow the game down. She's gonna get you organized. But being organized might not be the key for y'all to win because y'all play better in transition than y'all do in a half right now. So right now, Raven may not be the answer based upon what you're trying to do, right? Because you're trying to build people confidence right now. And coming down the stretch against that North Carolina, it just wasn't enough scoring on the floor. With Raven in the game, just being honest, it was scoring. The only thing that North Carolina did, North Carolina just didn't have the bigs. Well, they game plan what they went with South Carolina was a hell of a game plan. I just couldn't execute it because they didn't have enough bodies to finish. If you run into a team with enough bodies to finish, offense gonna matter. And if Ray gonna go out there and take jump shots, it's gonna be hard because
right now I think she's taking the jump shots right now.
Well, Ravens in her career, she should be more dominant of understanding. She should be a Chris Paul out there. Understand when to score, when to distribute, when to do certain things. And I'm still getting, I just want to pass. It's certain things in the layers that her game should have her been in college for this long now. That you don't see.
That's what I think Dawn pushing back on for sure. Yeah. She's pushing back. She's got to. This is the stuff because we know it's in there. Now you got to show it. Yeah. Because now they're judging you on this. But I also think the Ravens going to end up coming back another year. I think she ends up coming back another year.
I can see that.
And I think it was good for Pow Pow. I think coming back this year is going to put Tahina Pow Pow's WNBA draft stock in another level. It's definitely going up.
One thing I love about Raven, I love her leadership. She struggles with understanding the scoring and the scoring to passing. Like that part she ain't figured out in the game. And but I also, when I look at their game, I also don't think that they put Raven in a situation too. So it kind of go hand in hand.
They're not asking her to. They're not asking her to for sure.
But at some point, if I'm a coach, right, the minute Fuwali's not in the game, you just got Paw in the game. I am daring Raven to shoot the three. I'm playing in the lane, and you won't have to shoot the. I'm daring a lot of these players to shoot the three on South Carolina. I don't think that y'all can make enough shots throughout the game to be successful, to beat us. Only person I'm playing above the 3-point line is Pow, and I might not even play her above the 3-point line. Because y'all don't have enough it's not enough movement action that South Carolina runs, and that's the problem that I got. Like when you see a team, you want to see crisp offense, you want to see body movement, player movement, and I don't think you see that enough out of South Carolina. They get stagnant a lot, but the teams haven't played a team that got scoring that can go get buckets. Now, North Carolina, what they started to do at the end of the game was how they should have played at the beginning of the game. And the game probably would have been a little bit different. But I just don't think that they play horses, North Carolina State. I don't think they played into their horses to get them in a situation for them to win the game.
Oh yeah, I just think we got some gelling to do. Ashland was back. We got some stuff that we still figuring out, but I expect that Christmas to be there. I expect us to bring Joyce along slowly, just like we brought Malaysia along, and it'll be about how people show up in March. I think it'll be really about how people show up in March. I think, and they're still trying to really just figure out. We haven't seen Maddie. We haven't seen Maddie on the floor. So I wonder too, just how much time is, like you said, who's practiced with who, and how much time have they actually had a chance to practice together right now? But every game they're looking better.
So my question to you is, how do you feel about Fuwali not playing like down the stretch in this last game? How do you really feel about that?
How do I feel? What
about Fuwali not really playing down the stretch?
Well,
because when y'all needed offense, she's bench, not playing. Like
but I thought Fuwali had a good. I thought Fuwali had a good game. I thought
Fuwali had a good game. She did.
I think that Dawn is still trying to find the right balance of Fuwali. I think she's still just trying to find the right balance of Fuwali. She's such a spark plug. Like when she gets out there, she goes. But then when she comes out, she still looks dead tired to me. So I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out, like, is she coming out because Dawn wants her to come out, or because she needs to breathe? I haven't been able to figure that part out. If it's because no, go ahead.
Some of it's a script. Some of it's a script that they got laid out. There are some people minutes around on that piece of paper and trying to see this and trying to see that. And sometimes when you get to the second half of a game, the hell with that script of how people playing, how the minutes are supposed to be distributed. You got to go with what's rolling. That's the part. That's the piece where sometimes Diane Staley can get into her like, man, I'm looking at this piece of paper, and based upon what the staff is saying, I got to play it like this. But sometimes, man, you got to go the hell with that script. This is what it is, and this who should be playing.
No, you don't think Don goes off script enough?
No.
Really? I think that
if you ever pay attention, when some people should have been pulled, they didn't pull them because they was playing off the script of how many minutes person should play.
I don't know. Okay, give me an example. Give me an example. Because sometimes I'm looking at it and I feel more like she's taking that Phil Jackson approach. Like, y'all are out there messing up. I'm not gonna bail you out with a timeout or a lineup change. Y'all fix it. Y'all know what y'all supposed to do. So I'm looking at it more like that. And you say you seen it more like I'm just sticking to what's on the paper.
Yeah, I mean, but Don is, don't get me wrong, Don has always did it, is led to success. So why change it, right? But with this year's team, you might have to change it.
Oh, for sure.
This year's team, the last couple of years, she's been able to the script because you kind of already knew what the pieces fell in line. This year's team, it's like you got a little bit of this, you got a little bit of that, you got a little bit of this, you got a little bit. Like, you could miss and match of however you want to play this year versus years in the past. Years in the past, it's like, man, I gotta play like this, so I gotta distribute them this way. And I think she's going with that same script this year. And it cost them this last game, but the reason why it didn't cost them that is because North Carolina just didn't have talent to get them over the hump. And that's what the real thing was about it. But if they continue to shoot the ball the way they're shooting it, like, just think about it. North Carolina could have knocked down 2 or 3 threes. That game is different. And they was getting wide open shots. They just didn't knock them down.
I mean, I think I can say the same for us. Like, you knock down a few more of them shots. Joyce don't make the mistakes that she makes. The game looks different. So to me, it's early in the season, but I feel like Dawn makes the adjustments that she needs to make, especially starting with last year's team. Like, by her own admission, she was like, "Yo, I'm an old school type of coach. Everybody wear the same thing. Everybody look the same. Everybody, this is what I'm used to." Last year, she was like, "Okay, this is something different. For me to be successful with the resources that I have, I got to take a step back." And so to me, that's what her success is. Her willingness to be able to say, it doesn't have to be all about me. To take her ego out and ask some of the other coaches, like she said, to be able to say, okay, what does it take to be able to meet the needs of this group? And how do I get them to where they're going to go? So to me, I feel like she's always willing to make those type of adjustments. And I think she gives them some leeway on the floor. But I'll go back and look. That's how I think we work. I don't know that we've even seen, like, I don't even know if the gang's all the way back together yet. That's what I want to see.
No. What I'm saying, you're not gonna really see what's like the potential of the South Carolina team. It's gonna take about 15 to 20 games to really, because you gotta think about it. Right now, players still getting into shape. Like, the average player can only play 4 minutes and 30 seconds. Let's be real. And so when you're looking at a script, you might pencil them in for 6 minutes. Hey, these minutes you're going to play this person coming in, right? Mm-hmm. And so these type of things happen at the beginning of the season. So I don't want people to overreact of like, oh, man, Rob's just over here tripping. It's like, I'm looking at the game from a coaching standpoint and not looking at it from a player standpoint of, I pay attention to what coaches do. I like right now, right? I got in the background, I got the Oklahoma game on, right? So I'm paying attention to what they're doing, certain things, how Don is doing certain things, how certain coaches doing certain, because that's the
and when you say certain things, you mean like rotation, timeout.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. So when I'm looking at like adjustments of like, all right, we ain't scored in the last 3 minutes and seconds, we turning the ball over. Who's our go-to person that's gonna go get us a bucket?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so just say, for instance, right, you take Powell out and you take out Fuwali, who are we leaning on?
At that time, it depends on who's the floor. If Tessa's on the floor, then I'm looking for Tessa to score. I'm looking for Joyce to score. If my
That,
bigs
but
are on the floor, then I'm probably going in. They probably going more inside.
yeah, but I'm saying that's what South Carolina figure out right now. I know what the answer is, but I'm saying
So no.
those
I guess
those
my
areas
question to you though is like, is the point of the team this year to be able to do anything? Like depending on the situation, like instead of having that, this is our identity, is the identity that they don't have to necessarily have a total identity to be successful. Like I might go 4 smalls and a big. I might go big. I might just go my regular lineup. It depends on what's out there. And to me, I thought that was like the strength of us having the 13 pieces that we have. Do you see that as a strength or no? Do you think it's better to define that?
this year's team, I don't think defining roles right now is necessarily what's needed, right? And the reason
Okay.
why I'm saying that is because you guys are so like years past, you were probably 8 to 9 deep where you knew, all right, cool. Everybody, you didn't have to define roles because everybody defined their roles for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You knew who your old post scorer was. You knew what guard was going to get scoring from. You knew what Raven was going to do. Like you kind of everybody already role because you recruited to that role. This year it's kind of like y'all changed up on recruiting, on how y'all recruited, and so the pieces are a little different, but you got more athletic. And so what you get more athletic changes up how you perceive things and how things look on the court. So I think it's just right now, it's just you just mixing pieces together to see how things. And so these games right now is that y'all not gonna lose to these teams. I'll just be honest, y'all not. But the thing of it is just trying to find patterns to see who plays with who, no matter who's in the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because with a body, y'all ain't really played against a big, true, dominant big. So how you react when y'all play against that? You're gonna play with size, you're gonna play with length, you're gonna do a little different things. So this year's team, I don't think you need to define roles. It's just trying to find out which lineup fits with who. And those are the things that
So
you still figuring out.
do you think UCLA is the first big test we're gonna get? Is that where you think we see the big test?
I don't think, but see, my thing with UCLA, I don't think they're gonna pose out. Depending on if Kiki Rice plays, that's my biggest thing. Does Kiki Rice play or not? If Kiki Rice doesn't play, I don't think it's gonna even be a test, to be honest, because y'all used to playing against bigs. So I would say that'd be our first test. But I don't think Lauren Best is gonna be a problem against y'all. That's how I think about it.
I want to know why is Kiki the main factor there for you? Why is Kiki that main factor in that, like her playing or not? What is it Kiki brings or that I'm missing?
Because Kiki and Pow Pow X out each other. That's how I look at it. You have an advantage. Y'all have an advantage. If Kiki doesn't play, y'all need they need somebody that can X out Pow, right? Because when I look at it, all right, who X's out who, right? Can Pow Pow X out Kiki and Pow Pow X out each other, right? So now you get to Fuwa, and then you get to Lauren, right? They kind of cancel out each other. Lauren and Fuwadi cancel out each other, right? Y'all got Raven as the unified like distributor. They can get it, and then y'all got Joyce. Kiki, the only thing that can help UCLA stay in the game.
What does Janiyah Parker bring though?
She was all right.
I'm excited to see her. I'm excited. I ain't watched the kid, so everybody been talking about her. I'm excited to see what she brings.
I think she's gonna bring a lot to the table. The piece that they're missing is Kiki for them to be more fluid. They often struggle or like Lauren Best because this is what everybody does. You throw the ball to Lauren, everybody double teams her. You kick the ball out, you just got only thing that UCLA does, if they don't make shots, it's gonna be a long night. And so what y'all gonna bet on is, hey, she not gonna make shots. But with South Carolina, you don't got to double Lauren Betts. You can put 1-on-1. You got bodies. You got fouls. That's the difference.
Okay. So then I guess my question then is, do you give any weight to our depth? Like you canceled out some people, but then there was still Tessa, there was still Ashlyn, there was still
Joyce is gonna be the X in that game. That's gonna be the Ashlyn and Joyce are gonna be the X factors
in the UCLA game.
in the UCLA game. And the reason why I'm saying this, when they grab a rebound and just go, and y'all get in transition, that's what's going to cause problems to UCLA. It ain't the matchup because y'all can run UCLA out them if y'all go ahead and push the ball up in transition. That's what y'all going to kill UCLA is in transition. It's up to now UCLA needs to keep it as a half-court game. If South Carolina is able to if South Carolina goes out and just press and get this into an up-tempo game, y'all win that game by 30. Easy.
And I'm thinking that Chloe is more of a factor in that game, especially if Chloe is hitting her midi and hitting the three. Chloe is like a factor to me in that game. Because like, what do you do? Who's gonna cancel out Chloe?
UCLA doesn't have nobody that can cancel out because y'all got a three-headed rotation right there. You got Joyce, Chloe, and you got Ashley. That's the three-headed monster. So UCLA doesn't have nobody that presents problems to those three. Because even if one of them have a bad game or two of them have a bad game, all you need is one of them to have a good. That's it.
Oh, I agree.
And so you don't even need all three of them to play good. So what I'm saying to you is the play that you could put at the 4 and in transition, it should be layups. Drills. And that's why I say I think UCLA presents a real problem to y'all because they're actually going to play into South Carolina hand in a sense.
Okay. So who is the team that we should have the most problem with?
The team that y'all should have the most problem. The team that should have the most problem with is LSU. LSU should be the problem y'all should have the most problems with. Because they can match our athleticism for athleticism. Mm-hmm. The problem with LSU is they big foul a lot. And she can't stay on the floor. That's the problem with LSU. But overall, athleticism, matching y'all up against each other, I'll have to go LSU.
Okay. I mean, that's the team that I got too. Although I think UConn matches up against us well.
Yeah,
as far as their depth and experience. If they're healthy, if they're really healthy as they're supposed to be by the time February gets here, they should be deep and they should be super experienced.
Yeah, I mean we find out. Heard to come soon. Like it's gonna be coming, but I'll say LSU would be the best right now on paper. Look everything. I'll say LSU right now.
Okay, but I mean I test too though. I watched
LSU last night. I mean yesterday when they played. I watched it.
I like them. I like them. But the other thing that I said about LSU is they're bonding as a team in a way that I've never seen them share before to the public. So all that at Monkey's house and the push-ups on the sideline, that little stuff matters to me. It might not matter. It might not mean nothing to y'all, but it means to me that they've made a commitment to each other, and they got this kind of like us against the world that we haven't seen out of LSU in a while. To me,
the difference is the leaders. Who's leading LSU this year.
Who are you calling the leaders? I think it's Big Fo's team. Who are you?
It's no doubt it's Big Fo's team. That's not even a question, but the leadership is different coming into this year because one of your leaders from last year quit on the team. And it never rectified to get back right.
I'm not gauging. And Jermaine, I see you. I'm not gauging LSU as far as what they put on the floor. I'm gauging LSU as far as how they gonna come together, united as a team, and fight for each other and play for each other and understand each other. That's something that we was last year. They was like y'all was like, oh, they fighting in the locker room. Auntie, not this year. This year it's like they'll fight you in the locker room. What it looked like to me. But y'all go check the videos.
I mean, honestly,
like number 2.
You actually gotta sit there and watch the game and not look at the box score. The box score can mislead you all the way 100%.
Oh, for sure.
And that's the thing that a lot of people don't understand. It's like why let you they ain't play nobody. But are you really watching what they're doing? Are you really watching the engagement of the team and how they're coming together? Chemistry. Like I look at the chemistry like. When I see you, all right, I want to see you struggling when you're not shooting the ball. Do you have that same engagement on defense? If you miss 2 shots in a row, are you really engaged? Or do you go back You talk to your teammates. You like those engagement things leads to winning. And so a lot of people look at the like, they ain't playing nobody. They should beat them. But it's the little things that you take out of those they should win. That you gotta like, that might cost them, right? I playing this team and doing this, but I don't know about. But when you look at LSU this year, it's a different tone to them this year than last year. And they was playing, and this is the crazy thing about it. They playing the same goddamn schedule they played last year.
Oh, it's the same. It's the same. Well, it's some new teams in the SEC, but it's pretty much the same schedule.
I'm talking about their non-conference. They didn't play nobody last year in non-conference.
And they doing it. It's a cupcake. It's a cupcake. We get that. It's a cupcake, y'all. That is, we understand that's a straight cupcake. And Jazz, I see you saying they on paper they should have beat us last year. They had 2 chances and failed. So we going on paper again. I don't think that they're gonna beat us, but I do think that LSU is the number 2 team in the SEC. I don't think that it's Texas. I don't think that it's any of them other teams that they tried to say. I think we are 1-2 in the SEC.
Hey, listen,
that's my opinion.
When LSU plays Texas, they're gonna mop them off the floor.
Texas? Oh, you ain't got. I'm rocking with. I rock with LSU unless they're playing South Carolina.
When LSU plays Texas, they're gonna mop them off the.
So I'm not a believer in Texas, Rob.
I'm not either. That's what I'm saying. Because I'm not a believer.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not a believer. So I'm right with you. And Jack. So you feel like. Oh, you said last year they played Colorado and Virginia Tech. So this year's schedule is worse. And Shante, you don't know if they're number 2. I think they're number 2.
Listen, they was gonna lose that Colorado game from off the gate because Colorado had some dogs on that team, and LSU came in there thinking like, it's gonna be a cakewalk. Come on now.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Colorado look a lot different this year because they ain't got them dogs. They ain't got them dogs like last year, but Colorado did have 2 girls in the a girl in the WNBA, 2 of them in the WNBA this past season, but one of them won a championship with the New York Liberties.
And I know people are gonna be like, she didn't play, she made it through. She lasted through the season. She gonna get a ring.
You know how hard it is.
She played in the practices. Oh, listen, she got that experience. She got to watch from the beginning to the end, from that sun up to sundown.
Hey, listen. I am a women's college basketball fan, LSU fan. I'm a women's college basketball fan. Like I watch this, I do this, I coach it. It is what it is. I just understand when stuff don't look right and when stuff do look right. That's what I do.
Okay, I got you. Okay, now Jazz, you saying it's a disservice to the game of women's hoops? Okay, so so somebody said in the chat the other day that part of this, and tell me if you know this to be true or not, or we need to look it up. Y'all address it. Part of LSU schedule and maybe everybody's schedule is driven by who the state says you have to play and where the money has to go and come from. So many of these games, the state determines. Is that how it works? Because I want to get an understanding of how much control does Mulkey actually have over the schedule, and how much of that is athletic director, how much of that is state, and how much of that is his contract, and how much of that is we don't want to play nobody, we don't want to smoke.
Kim got full control of her schedule. I don't give a damn what you talking about.
No, that's what I'm asking. I want to know. Because I done heard people say like Kim don't control the schedule, the AD do the schedule, his contract. So I want to know.
You can say the AD all you want, but if Kim want to play somebody, he or she gonna put him on the schedule. It's just like this happens on the men's women's side. They pick and choose who they want to play. They pick and choose what tournaments they want to play in. So it's like to go out and say she don't control it. She has to, so right. But at the end of the day, what they try to do, what Ella tries to do, and why they try to control their schedule, the way they try to control it, they try to get as many home games as possible to keep the money in state, and then they could pay out who they want to pay out and how much they want. Because a lot of these games are pay to play. They paying these schools to come play them. Let's be real about it. But if Kim Mulkey wants to go play somebody, I promise you, if she want to go play somebody, she can go play them. The problem is she ain't gonna do it because she already knows the grit and grind of what the season gonna look like in SEC play. She knows she's gonna get her stretch gonna build up. So why does it really like it's kind of a smart business move on LSU side because you guarantee a good seed in the NCAA tournament, but it's also can be a negative because when you're in a tournament, who have you really played that can help you win a championship?
Okay, but I thought split the schedule kind of hurt your seeding, right? So they're gonna look at this non-conference and say it was cupcake and knock them down. Is that how it works?
It can, depending on who your teams are lined up against. So think about it like this, right? When LSU won the national championship, they had a cupcake non-conference schedule. It's a strategy that they're doing. The problem is who are you stacking it? Who are you stacking up against when you're talking about the NCAA tournament, right? Are you up against UConn? If you stack them against UConn, that ain't gonna matter because UConn is not scared to play anybody. So they're gonna play a non-conference schedule. So they're already gonna be above LSU. But then the thing about how many losses does LSU have on their schedule? And if all they lost to is South Carolina, what are we talking about? You got 2 losses. So the strength of schedule matter because what other team has lost 2 games? Because that's really how they view everything once you get to the NCAA tournaments, right? How many losses on your schedule? Okay, cool. Now you got to be put in that bracket of how many people lost this many games. Now, does strength of schedule matter? Does conference matter? Yes, it does. Who's going to bring the money? What region you play in? And those things, right? That's the next variable.
Does the strength of schedule help Flage in the campaign for National Player of the Year? Because she's gonna be. She should now listen. By the time SEC starts, Rob, right? They should show up undefeated. Flage should be averaging an ungodly amount of points. To me, with the way the schedule is set up, does that help her in the National Player of the Year push?
That is Reese. Hey, that's really the true answer to it. Like
I don't know if Angel was able to really just go off. I think Flage is going to be able to go off.
But so here's the best way to answer is you always.
And I don't think they wanted Angel to be the national player of the year. I don't think she got a chance.
Yeah, of course. But the only way to really answer this question is when she play in big time games. That's the only thing you're gonna remember. How does she play in big time games? That's the only thing you remember at the end of the season.
Well, I'm asking you this question because you explained when we was talking on the Colorado show, not to go football, but we was talking Heisman, right? And your point was Heisman moments versus Heisman season, and it's the moments that get you to Heisman, right?
Yep.
So, is it the same? Like, would you say that translate to basketball, or do you think that's a little bit different on the college basketball side?
It's the same thing when you talk about it in basketball. Like you're gonna remember Flage's biggest game and who did she always done. They strengthened their schedule because the easiest thing nobody. But in the biggest game, how did she play? How did she play against South Carolina? How did she play against Texas? How did she play against Oklahoma? Them the first. Like, who are the people that's at the top of her conference and how did she play against them? What is she? That's really because when you really look at it, right? When Kevin Clark, right? Let's take Kevin Clark for instance. Kevin Clark played in the biggest games. She had good scoring games. It wasn't because she had a great season. It's what your biggest moments were, and that's what they're gonna compare it to. And so when you look at Flage, how does Flage rank teams? Because that's the only thing that matters. We don't care about any ranked teams. Are you actually truly going to play in a season? Being real. So they're only going to remember the ranked teams because you're not going to you might against at the most, right? And we're talking South Carolina. At the most, you might play teams in the season. 8 to 10 teams. I'm gonna say 8 to 10 games because 6. I'm gonna say 4 of those teams you might play one time before repeat of somebody that's already been ranked, like LSU or Texas, something like that. But it's 8 to 10 games that's ranked. So out of those 18 games, what they gonna take the measure? How did you look in those games? Did you rise to occasion? Like, did you feel in the situation? How did you look in that situation? You look about player of the year, it's a little bit different in basketball than it is. College is more about like viewership, popularity, things like that. That's what that is. But it can be also the same truth for basketball about popularity to push as the face of college basketball. So two of those. So when you look at like Aaliyah Boston, things like that, like who's the face? Who do you remember? Who's the team that they pushing for?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now,
Okay.
I will say the only problem that I hate about the is that they discredit South Carolina a lot out of the situations.
Is that okay? But do you think that that's a South Carolina thing, or is that a Dawn Staley thing? I feel like it's a Dawn Staley thing. I feel like if it was any other coach at South Carolina
It's
having
both.
this success, we would be talking about it. Why both? Tell me
It's
why.
both. It's this similar. People don't want Travis to win because they don't like Deion as much as they don't like Deion Sanders. So I can say that for any player in South Carolina, it's because. Go ahead.
If Travis don't win this thing, that's nasty work. How can you go give it to anybody else? Like Travis,
Yeah,
like
they're trying to prove.
Come on. What? Okay, we've seen what Travis done this year, right? With the time that's left in the football, and I don't mean to go football, but I gotta ask now. With the time that's left, what can anybody do to take that thing from him?
There's nothing you can do, and I don't even understand why they keep throwing this. I understand it, the stats wise, but he's never going to play anything to get a Heisman moment.
Okay.
And so look at the things. He's the only person, right? But when you look at college for a couple of weeks, they've been trying to have somebody have a Heisman moment. They've been trying to have a Heisman moment, right? They keep trying to put his team down for him to come back for a moment to take away from Travis. They keep trying to have me do something to get back in the conversation. Like, no matter they keep trying to put somebody in a situation to take away from Travis. The problem is going to be Travis. You can't stop what's already destined, what's already been written. Showing you, by being a two-way player, is how can you give it to him? And you see now what Fox is doing him because now they got him on the network, for big news. We need you to come talk. And we know that you on a bye week, but we need you in Pennsylvania to be on, big game, so it's like
we need you all over. We need you all over this weekend. Get to all of them.
Right. It's always going to be a narrative to be pushed one way or another. But politics is always going to play out in sports. They're going to tell you who they want, no matter what it is. So, and with South Carolina, it's more politicking than it is. Like, for Wiley on first team SEC, I'm just it just blows. But I get why.
How can you put that? How can you do that in her face? If she was the most outstanding player of your tournament, but she don't have a chance coming back this year to be the best player in your conference. I need to talk to the people that was in the meeting that made that decision. How?
Listen, you don't even got to talk to them because when you listen, I was to send you a picture of the committee who voted this, you wouldn't even have to say nothing. You wouldn't have to say nothing at all. If somebody just listen, just send me a picture of the people that voted. That's all you need to do. Picture. You don't need that. It ain't no question need to be asked.
It's worth 1,000 words, they say. The picture's worth 1,000 words. Send the picture. Yeah, I would love to see it. It didn't make sense to me. When I saw that, I was like, wow, the disrespect is intense. That's nasty work on the most outstanding player in your tournament.
Listen, South Carolina can go undefeated 40-0. They still trying to figure out how not to give Don Staley the coach. It says, come on, man, what are we talking about?
Oh my goodness!
All they doing is putting the Michael Jordan. That's all they do. Find a reason to give it the MVP to somebody else because they don't want to give it to this person. That's it. So now you just got to go out and make it undeniable and just people next and make it undeniable. That's what you got to do. It's just simple.
And that's the thing. I wonder, is Dawn willing to do that? Because Dawn is more likely to call the dogs off than to let them go. She's more likely to be like, okay, come, that's enough. You gotta go all gas, no brakes.
If this season, I'm talking about just this season in particular.
Yeah, right now. Yeah,
I want Don Staley to just don't keep full throttle on everybody. Just the disrespect they had this season. You ain't the number 1 ranked team. You can't get a first team. Preseason. Man, get out of here with that. What are we talking about? What are we talking about?
Oh, no, somebody tell what is the score of Fox Media on the Oklahoma game? I've been hearing Oklahoma playing good, y'all, but I had to see him.
Oklahoma, 56.
Oh, God. There's that.
120.
I've been hearing. But I've been hearing Reagan Beers is looking good. I've been hearing that Beers is looking good. That they got shooters all around her. So I guess, we'll see what happens there.
She's looking better because she's in.
You said because she's in better shape?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that is true. They did she does have more shooting around her at Oregon State.
Yeah, we got 73 in the chat. Run the lights up.
When she came in as a freshman at Oregon State, they wanted her, but they didn't really in her. But then they realized how good she was when she got there, and they had to play because they already had a starting center.
Okay.
And they had to put their starter to play her. So last year, pieces around her, but it wasn't the right piece to help them go to the. Why didn't Bears go to UConn? That's why she didn't go. Colorado, but she's from Oklahoma. That's why she went to Oklahoma.
Okay, so didn't they try to make it like it was some kind of scandal or something that she said something or they went back on a tweet or something and then they was like, oh, you kind of backed off her and then everybody unfollowed her or something last year?
No, I mean necessarily when she came, it was surprising that she
dropped a big bag on her too.
Okay. Yeah, it was surprising that she picked Oregon State because
from the gate.
From the gate, I'm saying, but so Reagan Beers, she had an ACL injury.
Okay.
Back from ACL injury. That's part of the reason why some coaches backed off because, girl, you didn't know how she was going to take, how her recovery is going to go, things like that. All summer, she had to work herself back into shape and lose all this access. So it was kind of like what most coaches do when you get a major injury, a lot of coaches going to back off. That's just the honest truth. Mm-hmm. And so they backed off. A lot of coaches did. Oregon State relentless on like, man, we gonna fight you through the end with it. And so that's ended up picking them. But she could have went to Oklahoma from the get-go. I'm just being honest, she could have. I'm close with, her AU coach and stuff like that.
Do you think she would have do you think she really considered UConn?
She considered it.
So coming into this week, we got Coppin State, which I think LSU played last year. I think that's the HBCU, like in the Baltimore area. I think they're coming into CLA. And then we got East Carolina and then Clemson. Anything about those games jump out at you?
Say that again.
We got Coppin State coming up tomorrow, and then East Carolina on Sunday, and Clemson the Wednesday following that. Anything about those games jump out at you? Anything you really want to see or think that we can see from Carolina in them next two games, 3 games.
To me, it's just keep. That's what I really. My main focus for this South Carolina is keep getting better, getting connected. To take back from the North Carolina State game, it was too much ball watching. Too many people not to stop a lot of the dribble. I mean, the dribble penetration.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, I mean, South Carolina gonna beat the brakes off of them. But one of the things you just want to see is being able to guard the ball from the three down, from the 3, 4, 5. If you get in a matchup situation, right, stay low, move your feet without fouling. Those are the things for Don Staley they talk to him about as everything poorly as we played, we got to be able to hang on the defensive side, people out. And I think they gave up too many offensive rebounds from just the little things, right? Defensive wise, not boxing out, but keeping because when the smaller guards did because they were able to kick and penetrate and make open shots from defensively just locking in and staying locked in for 40 minutes.
Okay. I mean, that's the thing that I'm looking at.
That'd be my key.
My thing is just the defense. I want the defense to be back to that North Carolina game, that second North Carolina game status. So that's what I'm looking for, just to build the chemistry on the defensive end, because I feel like everything else will come from defense, especially now since what I saw in the two exhibition games and now the regular season games is that Dawn has gone kind of positionless. At least when the ball's coming off the rim, anybody can bring it up the court. Everybody go, and then we'll figure it out when we get on the other side and see where the mismatch is. That's scary hours to me for any team that we might face, because now who do you stop? Who do you guard? Where's the ball going? So I want to see the defense lock in and be able to keep turning people over and getting us out running. I think that's going to be important.
Crazy about the positionless basketball. I wish Raven would get more, because she could be more dangerous in those situations.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of, because sometimes she try to circle back to come get the ball instead of just letting the ball 1-2 dribbles and push that thing up the sideline. Raven trying to come get the ball. Raven be out in front of transition, and she's able to make 1-2 move to get to a layup or 1-2 boom to go to shooter. I think those are opportunities that's missed a lot because she get the ball instead of just, hey, let's run. Like, they already got the ball, problems bringing up the ball, ain't nobody pressuring the ball. Just go, just get out in space and let's make the game easier. I think a lot more like in the open space than she's games.
All right. Okay.
I just think that's a game that hasn't been tapped into, and so if they turn on the tape and see that if Raven just goes and just continues, even though she's cutting and she could just continues to run, they can outlet her where she's going towards the basket, where it's going to allow her to play 3-on-1 and her to make decisions and not have to slow the basketball down to get into offense. Y'all hurt yourself with trying to get into too much offense and the flow of the game. Now, sometimes it's needed, right? When you miss 3 or 4 shots in a row and there's no balance, all right, you guys got things flowing. Sometimes we kill the momentum by ball. We can get the ball outletted. So,
okay.
I picked up on that. I think we can.
As we get ready to wrap up this hour, and I always appreciate the time. Your thoughts on Ashlyn's return and how you bring her back from here, and how they handled that.
Overall, she had a solid game. Continue of, do you put her in the starting lineup? Do you bring her off the bench? Think about that. How do you play her? I just right now is how do you play Ashlyn and Joyce Edwards on the floor at the same time? Who's in, who's out? That's the part that I think they're still trying. Being gone for so long and her coming back is trying to figure out how you play those. But overall, performance-wise, she was solid. She game shape. She did exactly what I expected her to do first game out. Exactly. Um, but just a little bit more energy from her, more shot making. She should be fine. I have no issues with Ashton at all. Right, where she needs to
Are
be
you
at.
interested in seeing Ashley switched out for Fagan at all? I've heard that people said they would rather see Ashley starting with Fagan and Kits. The one thing about Ashley starting, it gives her a chance to maybe be a player of the year. If Ashley's on the bench and Leia's on the bench, I think they cancel each other out for six women of the year. So I want one of them to start. But
I don't think that you necessarily need to start though, because I think she brings the dynamic off the bench that helps you in foul trouble. If anything goes wrong in with the starter, she's off the bench. So I think it's actually a bonus having her come off the bench than her starting.
okay.
I think that the athleticism, the scoring ability is more of a key than her starting, because really the purpose of her starting. Because if I'm down bench Ashlyn and Fuwali, I'm bringing them off the bench. That's my two-headed. And we playing through them too when we go. As soon as we go to the bench.
So, but would you bring Joyce with them too?
Three. I would definitely play them three.
I like
Just
him as
because
a Carolina connection. Yeah.
yeah, I would definitely play those three together. Keep Kids starting, Chloe starting. I'll keep her starting because when I sub out Raven, I'm bringing in Fuwali, I'm bringing in Ashley. That's my three, and I will keep a couple minutes and then sub her, but I would put that lineup out there just to see, like, just out there, just like let's go, lace them up, the end, because you got a bunch of energy players out there, and
How do
you
you have
got
Tessa
scoring
fitting in?
ability. I like Tessa. Like I in for Pow with that lineup, and but you kind of got a combination of, you can go Pow Fuwali, or anything with the mixture of Ashlyn, Chloe, and Joyce. Those would be my six right there. With when it's all said and done, I think those will be your ultimate. You're making it seven. That's what I think you're gonna end up rolling with by the time.
All right. You heard it here first. Hey, and Fox Media, let us know if there's some place that we can watch that Camilla game. I did see your note. We getting ready to wrap up. This hour go by so fast. What you got going into next week?
Oh man, just ready to watch more basketball. I watch a little bit of everybody just to see the landscape of basketball, because I like to see, from the beginning of the season to the end of the season. When you look at things, I love what South Carolina, as they continue to grow in the season. Still young, still some things to figure out, but as where Don's at, it's just another masterpiece that she's putting together. So just love to see it. On the men's side, it was a good game from tonight. Um, and so it's gonna be an interesting basketball season. So I'm buckled in, ready for it. I don't
Got to buckle
care
in.
about the NBA. Yeah,
I
I
gotta
don't
watch
really
the
care too
NBA.
much about the NBA and all the
I gotta watch
flopping
the
and
NBA.
who gonna.
Night Steph. I gotta check in on Steph. I gotta check in on night. I like King of the Light
Listen,
skins. But
the only best time to watch the NBA is right now, only on the days where the NBA Cup is water, because they're playing for
oh yeah.
money.
Oh, they playing. They playing
If
for
it ain't an
sure.
NBA Cup night, I'd incur
And it's
less for it,
crazy.
because
And it's crazy because they make 250 million, Rob, but they playing hard about 500,000. They not playing. They like, oh, we finna
yeah.
get the money. So yeah, you're right.
If they
You are
listen, if
right.
they was playing for money, at the All-Star game, you see them really get out there. You see them really play harder. But it's like, you got something to play for. It's just all fun and game. That's how the NBA treats the regular season. NBA Cup in, it just makes those games, But it's every other day, right? You got Tuesday, it's Friday. You know what I'm saying? So you got days in between. But on the days where they got NBA, watch how hard those teams play versus when they don't have them days.
Oh
You
yeah,
see
for
that
sure.
different court come out there, it's a different feel. So I don't even want them type of days. Like I watched it
Different
last
energy.
night because I'm like, oh yeah, it's up, the energy up. I love
Oh
to
yeah,
see
the energy was up.
competitiveness. I hate seeing
Oh,
people go through. I like to see the competitiveness. I want to see that dog versus dog. Like who brings. And so that's what I love about college sports is that like you're gonna see at the professional level. And so I love those big time seasons because I'm like, oh yeah, I want to see who got that dog in them for sure. Like, oh okay, are you see? Are they talking right? Because North Carolina State they did a lot of talking.
oh
So
yeah,
I waited
it's
to the end
almost
of the
bragging
game to
rights.
start trying to get some buckets.
It's all right
Yeah,
because
yeah, get some buckets.
Zam didn't know. Zam didn't know she could talk. Zam ain't gonna stop talking now. It's her team.
And
We'll talk about that another time.
yeah,
We'll talk about that another time. Rob, as
oh,
always,
but
I
yeah, man.
appreciate the time. Y'all make sure y'all are following Rob the Man Media if you're not already. What y'all waiting on? We back next week, y'all, with more Gamecocks talk. Until next week, until next week for us too. Until about 15 minutes for me. Y'all stay tuned. Talk soon. We out.